You've picked up some decent skills looking at the earlier tutorials, and now you'd like to edit some video that you shot. Take a look at this project. I've organized my browser for this project into bins like I've taught in a previous tutorial. I've got some music elements here, some 30 seconds in a 10-second file. I've got my sequences in a sequences bin, and I've just got one video clip called raw footage. Let's start by double-clicking on the icon for the raw footage. In my opinion, the best way to edit here is to build your timeline in sequence. Your first shot goes first, your second shot goes second, your third shot goes third, and so on and so forth until you're actually done with your project. Take a look at our viewer. I click once on the viewer to activate it, and now I'm going to use my navigation keys to move around. This first shot is some crazy guy with a wig jumping over a fence. So I'm going to fast forward using the L button and look for my first shot. I hit L a few times so it goes faster, and here's my first shot. Inside your viewer there's a mini playhead right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the letter I on my keyboard and watch what happens. A blue little triangle appears right here telling me that's my endpoint. That's where I want the computer to start taking the video footage. Once I've set my endpoint, I'll hit spacebar to start the footage again, and I want to stop right about there because I know what my next shot is. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the O button for out. So I've set an in, and now I've set an out. Before we insert that clip into our timeline, a little bit about your timeline. 01 will be there by default. That does not mean that you're at the hour mark. Just ignore that. Your playhead by default will be at the beginning of the project. If by chance it's not, hit your home key to make sure it's at 01000000, and that's where you want to start. With our playhead in the right spot in our timeline and our ins and outs already identified, we simply click on this video in the viewer, hold your mouse button down, and drag it to the overwrite area and let go. That clip is now in my timeline, and the software moved my playhead to the end of that clip. So I'm ready to insert my next shot sequentially, shot number 2. To get my second shot, I click on my viewer to activate it. I fast forward using the L button to where I find the beginning of my second shot. And this is where that is, so I hit I for in, play it, and I want my out to occur right there. So I hit O. Now I'm simply going to click it, hold it, and drag it over to the overwrite. Notice the overwrite actually gets highlighted. The box, if I go down to the blue one, that highlights. That's how you know you're in it. And let go. Now here's my timeline again. I'm at 5 seconds and 27 frames, and 2 shots have been inserted. I'm ready for my third shot. This process of editing in sequence, shot 1, shot 2, shot 3, shot 4, will pay off in the end. Take a look as I finish up the project. Now editing takes time. This is just a quick example of how to build a timeline sequentially. Take a look. What you just looked at was a real rough edit. You can go back and make changes. The key is to make sure that you capture all of your video and it's in your browser before you start building sequentially in your timeline. You can bring in sound effects and graphics and anything else that you need later on after you've established the rough edit.